Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Welcome to Sports Drip Live.
Coming in with
My
that sick
brother.
intro.
Yeah, brand new intro. Brand new. That new. It's a long time coming. We had the old intro, Ricky. We've had that forever. It feels like.
Yeah.
Um, and it's all about growth, man.
So it's all
All, all
about,
I
yep.
knew, all I knew was how to put music, above pictures. Now I'm doing graphics. So if you guys ever need a sick intro like that, let me know. Holla at your boy.
Yep.
I'll take care of you. Eric in the comments, what's going on? Eric, not bad with the intro. Nice. I appreciate you, homie. Welcome back to Sports Drip Live. As me and my brother, we go into the sports combat world or combat sports world, wherever you want to say it.
All right.
He said, nah, I'm good. Wow, you're fake. Boy, Zay Evans said intro was fire. I appreciate that, Zay. Appreciate it. But again, Sports Drip Live, guys. We're going to talk about UFC. We're going to talk Bellator. We're going to talk WWE, AEW. We get into combat sports. We'll get into some boxing, but not today. We have nothing in the boxing world going on right now. Everything's pretty slow. But let's start off, Ricky, with AEW. AEW, I'm sorry. Forbidden Door was this past Saturday here in Chicago. So not past Sunday. Past Sunday, actually.
That's Sunday,
Here,
yep.
yeah, here in Chicago, man. And what a card. What a card. What a pay-per-view. Bunch of just great matchups all around, and it did not disappoint, not one bit. Especially the beginning, the first match. It literally set the tone for the entire pay-per-view. Would you agree? That was the Jericho Appreciation Society, which was him, Sammy Guevara,
Minoru Suzuki.
Yep. Going against, what was the team they went against? It was Eddie Kingston.
It was Eddie Kingston. It was who else was and it was one of
I got you right.
One of the Combat Clubs, yeah.
Yeah. Eddie Kingston, damn, I didn't even see it. I forgot, bro. I'm not gonna lie. It was like Kingston and some Tokyo guys. How about that? Some some Japan guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
And hey, not bad for a card, really. For a lot of matches were canceled, dropped due to a lot of injuries. Some guys couldn't even make the card either because of political reasons between promotions in Mexico and stuff like that. Like, for example, Andrade and the Lucha Bros were supposed to be on this card, and they weren't there. They weren't allowed to, apparently. So, but yeah, that match, the first match of the card, it really kicked off. It really kicked off really nicely, and it set the tone for the rest of the pay per view, man, which is really good. Like almost every match on this main card was good.
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, it did not disappoint. It was a really good matchup all around. Chris Jericho winning the match. There was blood and guts happened today. I have yet to watch it. I'm going to watch it after this show.
Yeah.
Heard it was pretty good. The match signified that they had a one-man advantage in the blood and guts show. But regardless of the fact, Ricky, that I brought that match up because it was literally like that. It was so good. It was really good. Yeah. I'm blanking on who they faced, but that's on me.
Yeah, but one of them. Yeah, actually, I remember now. One of them was Wheeler Yuta, who's part of that combat, the Black Belt Combat Club.
Yeah.
So yeah, he actually took the place of, I believe, Jon Moxley, who was in the main event on this card. Originally, he was supposed to be in that match because CM Punk was supposed to be in the main event. Yeah, and it didn't. With CM Punk's injury, that everything changed.
Everything changed for sure. Right after that matchup, Ricky, we had FTR winning the IWGP Tag Team Champions and retaining their Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. Another great match here. Yeah. It's so good to see these guys getting the recognition that they deserve. This is a popular team. It's a popular team. It always has been.
Yeah.
And for them to leave WWE where they weren't getting nothing.
No, man, they didn't treat these guys like the great wrestlers that they are.
Yeah.
The good workers that they are. And they come over here and they're killing it, man. It took a little bit for them, but now they got some momentum going. The crowd's loving it, especially in Chicago.
Yep.
And well deserved.
No, for sure. Well deserved for sure. The Bastard Pack finally wins an AEW championship, Ricky. He wins the first all Atlantic champion.
Yeah.
Championship.
Another good match, and then happy to see Pac-Man because he's been there since day one. since
Yes, they
AEW
won.
started, and and he's been a presence there in that company, and to finally see him win a title finally after what 3 years being with this company.
After
So
3 years, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of surprised. He went. He the reason why he left WWE because he wasn't getting what he thought was those title runs. You know what I mean? But that was something he needed. So I thought almost immediately when they first started AEW, he was going to get that, but he didn't. It took him 3 years to finally win a championship, and he got it.
No, because I think it also had a lot to do with travel issues because he's from the UK,
Yeah,
and other stuff too. Probably I don't know if he had any injury. I don't remember if he had any injuries, but yeah, he finally came. He finally won a title. I was actually expecting Miro to win this, because Miro had been gone for a while too. I was convinced that Miro was going to win this match, but
I'm happy.
To see
Miro.
Pac win it, yeah. But to see Pac win it, I was happy for him.
I'm happy Miro didn't win it because he already won a TNT championship once. Then once he lost it, you don't see him for months. Then for him to come back and win another championship, it's kind of like his title run wasn't even all that good.
Yeah, no, it was
You know what I
good.
mean?
No, he was dominant. He was pretty dominant, man. I remember.
Yeah, they made him dominant, but I didn't see. It just there was no lore there for me. You know what I mean?
Right, right. Well, it was better than what he was when he came in. They had him as some like geek gamer gimmick.
Yeah.
He had his hair dyed. I remember, and I was like, man, what are you guys doing with this guy? This guy should be a monster. And
Right.
when
And
he
then,
finally did that, then he became TNT champion. He was on a dominant run.
yep, on a dominant run indeed. The team of Sting, Darby Allin, and Shingo Takagi Riki wins. They win at Forbidden Door. Another good match as well.
Oh yeah, that Sting, that dive that Sting did in the beginning of the match on the Young Bucks.
Yep.
Holy shit, man! I mean, for a guy that's like 62-year-old Sting, man, and you wouldn't even know it with him taking dives like that and taking risks like that. I never would have thought that I would still see Sting wrestling in 2022, but it's an absolute treasure to watch him still, man. And it's not gonna last forever too, man. Because he is, like I said, he's 62 years old. He ain't gonna do this for a very long time. So I'm definitely appreciating his performances and his appearances.
100%, and kudos to AEW for protecting him. You know what I mean? Like he's able to do big spots like that, but only because like he doesn't take too many bumps to begin with.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know what I
he
mean?
doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't do too many matches. He's mostly in tag team matches, which is good for him. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that way it takes some load off him because he is after all, up there in age.
Yep.
So yeah, kudos. And pairing him with Darby Allin too, kudos for that pairing as well.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. Thunder Rosa remains AEW champion Riki as she defeated Tony Storm. I like her title reign. It's pretty good. It was a pretty good match.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and good to see Tony Storm there too. Getting an opportunity. She didn't get hardly anything when she was in WWE. I mean, in NXT she was pretty good, but then when they called her up, they did absolutely jack shit with her, and she ended up walking out. She's like, I had enough of this, and she walked right into AEW and right into a good spot. So yeah, good match.
Yeah, 100% right into a good spot. Will Ospreay defeats Orange Cassidy to remain the IWGP United States
This was my
champion.
favorite match. This was
Yeah.
my favorite match of the night. This one right here.
Yeah,
Between
Ospreay.
Will Ospreay, dude. Will Ospreay he's legit, man. He's one of the best in the world, and he's a guy to keep watching, man. He's legit.
He really is legit. I'm excited to see him in AEW. They have talent over there, man, in New Pro Japan. Him, Jay White, those guys are really they literally took over for Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega was a star over there.
Yeah.
These two guys are up and up for sure.
Yeah, and Orange Cassidy did his part too, man. He looked pretty good in there. He made the match exciting as well. A lot of people were shitting on the booking of this match, but by the time it was over, it proved a lot of people wrong, man. This is to me the match of the night.
Yeah, Orange Cassidy always puts on a good performance for sure. Katsuyori Shibata Riki made his debut or return back into the squared circle, and he confronted Will Ospreay and helped out Orange Cassidy right after this match.
Yeah, it was good to see. It was a nice surprise for the crowd too to see him. From what I've heard about him, man, he's I think in his one of his last matches, he got really severely injured. I think he had like a brain tumor. I think he got a brain tumor or something, man.
Damn.
So he had it pretty bad. He had got injured, probably was a severe concussion and developed a tumor. So it was a treat to see him back. That to come back into the ring to see that he's doing well, and hopefully we'll see him in the ring.
Absolutely. We got to see the debut of Claudio Castagnoli, formerly known as Cesaro from WWE, now in AEW as Claudio Castagnoli. Ricky, he's all elite.
I called it. I said it was either going to be him or Johnny Gargano. It was one. I thought it was going to be one of those guys, and yeah, I called it. Good match. Good to see him. And man, he's I'm telling you, he's very deceptively strong, man. The way he picked him up and carried him back into the ring up the stairs with one hand.
With one hand, but he's always had that freakishly that like crazy strength that we've always seen from him.
Yeah, he just doesn't look like physically imposing like Brock Lesnar does, but he's
he's definitely strong.
Good, yeah, good to see him. And he's also supposed to be in the Blood and Guts match tonight too.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it later. Switchblade Jay White remains IWGP World Champion. He defeated was it Okada?
Yes.
Defeated Okada, defeated Hangman Adam Page and Adam Cole, baby, and came out the victor. Ricky, what do you think about this match?
Good match, man, but very weird ending. I think it was because Adam Cole. They were saying that he probably suffered a concussion because he was supposed to take a Rainmaker from Okada.
Yeah,
he ducked it, collapsed, and then Jay White hit his move on Okada and then pinned Adam Cole instead, even though Adam Cole wasn't touched. So pretty messed up botch right there. They could say I think it was an injury to Adam Cole. He might have got concussed.
Yeah, it's what it seemed like because I was even kind of like, wait, what's going on? Like, how did Adam Cole just fall like that and get pinned?
Yeah, he didn't even get hit. I guess the plan was he was supposed to take the Rainmaker, and then Switchblade comes in and pins him. After taking care of Okada, but yeah, so pretty messed up ending right there. So definitely had something to do with Adam Cole, probably with an injury.
Hopefully he's okay. Jon Moxley, 2-time AEW champion. He is the interim champion, but second time he wins the belt, Ricky. I would love to see a match between him and CM Punk.
Yeah, it's definitely going to happen too, especially since he's now the interim champion. It's just like how they do in the UFC.
Yep.
When the champion goes down with an injury or whatever, he's going to take some time off. They crown an interim champion, and then they do a unification fight. So that's exactly what I like. I like that idea. Usually in WWE they strip the title and crown a new champion.
Yep.
But I also like this idea of an interim champion in wrestling. So yeah, good match. He shed a lot of blood, man, in that match. I don't know how it happened, but he bled.
No surprise other than Claudio Castagnoli and Shibata. No other surprises debut. We didn't see Johnny Gargano. We didn't see Bray Wyatt
or Kenny Omega.
Kenny Omega hasn't returned. Yeah, exactly. We haven't seen the return of Kenny Omega. Were you disappointed that we didn't get that? Any of those?
Well, overall, this card was really good. There was not a bad match on this card. I was satisfied. I kind of expected Omega wasn't really going to show up because he's not ready to come back yet. But yeah, I'm more disappointed that we didn't get to see Bryan Danielson or CM Punk, to be able to be in any of these matches because that was the original plan, and they a lot of injuries plaguing both wrestling companies right now.
Yeah.
So other than that, man, this was a good pay-per-view. I enjoyed it, and they love coming to Chicago. So they usually put on the best cards in Chicago. And I'm pretty sure they're going to come back for All Out.
Yeah. So I'm reading something right as we speak. Because the next topic is out here is the fact that we didn't see Bray Wyatt, right?
Right.
But there has been news in the past week that Bray Wyatt has trademarked the name Wyatt 6. So Wyatt number 6. Wyatt was released back in WWE in July of 2021, so it'll be almost a year now. But other than a film project, he has remained quiet about his pro wrestling future beyond obscure statements on Twitter. But on Reddit, Ricky, there has been some, people who may have solved the mystery surrounding the new name, noting that the Squared Circle subreddit on Sunday that 6 could be in reference to his involvement in the Dark Order.
Really?
Yes. So the user pointed out that each member of the group has been assigned some sort of number while they've been members. But for whatever reason, no wrestler that's in the Dark Order has ever had the number 6. So the late great Brody Lee was nicknamed the Exalted One, so he was number 1. Then there's also Evil Uno, who was also number 1, and Stu Grayson were numbered 1 and 2. Alex Reynolds and John Silver had 3 and 4. Alan Angels had 5. Preston Vance still wrestled as number 10, and Colt Cabana had number 8. Anna Jay has always been number 99, and even little Brody Lee Jr. had -1, but none of them has ever had number 6.
Yeah, that I never thought of that. That never even. I mean, I was already way past the Dark Order. I'm like, man, this group is dead. You know, they're not doing anything with them. Nothing's interesting about them.
Right.
But now that you brought that up, that's pretty interesting. Especially you'll find stuff like that on Reddit. You know, there's a lot of guys on there that'll try to pick everything apart to try to find some clues. So
yeah.
Bray Wyatt coming in. Hey, you know what? Then I guess he would be the leader of the group, which that if they're still trying to continue on with this Dark Order storyline, there's I don't think there's anybody that can do it but him.
100%. And then you're following the last person who was the leader, which was his great friend Brody Lee. Yeah. You know, it's been a long time coming. I'm surprised it hadn't happened sooner, to be honest with you. But it makes a lot of sense because I was like Wyatt 6. I'm like, is he trying to go back to WWE and use Wyatt? But then why the number 6? You know what I mean? I thought it had something to do with the Wyatt family.
Man, yeah. Usually, if guys are trying to trademark a name, it's probably because they don't want to go back to WWE, or they're not going to go back to WWE. So that way, they don't, because WWE they own a lot of trademarks and names of these wrestlers. So
right.
So and they don't like that kind of stuff when wrestlers do that either. So if he's going to AEW, I mean that's a big clue right there.
It's a huge clue, and as you mentioned, finally something to do with the Dark Order because they're a good group. They're a great group. They had they were over before Brody Lee, during Brody Lee.
Yeah. I mean it was interesting at first. I remember those vignettes. How they were like a secret society, this and that, and then Brody Lee came over and took over, and he had some good matches. I remember with Cody, with Jon Moxley. The Dark Order was in the spotlight, and ever since he passed, it's just been downhill for this group. So bringing in Bray Wyatt to lead this group, make it more interesting. He already has experience running a cult like he did at the Wyatt family in WWE.
Right.
So he's definitely could do it. Yeah, it's definitely in his realm. So yeah, we'll see. Interesting.
100%.
Very interesting.
Very, very interesting. Let's move into WWE, Ricky. Not much news there, but there has been news coming out today. Valerie Loureda, an MMA fighter with Bellator, has signed with WWE as the company continues to push to bring elite athletes into its developmental pipeline. Loureda told the Post that talks were initiated when her manager, Abraham Kawa, was negotiating an NIL deal between WWE and NCAA champion AJ Ferrari, and then her name came up. So not bad. 23-year-old Loureda was invited to watch WrestleMania from her suite this past April, and apparently she fell in love with the product.
Yeah,
she has a look. I'll give her that.
She's hot, man. I'll put it bluntly.
Right, exactly.
I'll put it bluntly. She's hot, and she's exactly what WWE's looking for.
Yeah.
Especially for that NXT show, which is a total sex show, man.
Honestly, like, let's be real. But I mean, look, if she could wrestle, looks is one thing, right? But if you could wrestle, then you got my vote. Because too many times they'll try to get the girls in there that don't, that are just for show and tell, but not, they don't perform well in the ring. Eva Marie was one of them. And how many times have they brought her back, let her go because she wasn't either good on the mic or B, she wasn't
good in the ring.
Good in the ring.
Yeah, the only thing she had going for her was she was hot, but that was it. Nothing else matched up.
Now, obviously, Loureda is an athlete, right? She is an MMA fighter. Yeah. But wrestling and MMA is two different things, man. You know what I mean? So If she can perform and she can do it really well, why not? You've seen women like Shayna Baszler, Sonya Deville before she got injured. Like they're good in the ring.
Yeah, and she's supposedly good friends with Nikita Lyons, so that was probably her foot in the door.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah,
100%.
it's also weird too. This announcement, because she technically is still under contract with Bellator,
Yeah,
and with WWE, man, they love signing people to exclusive contracts, meaning they can't do anything else, no other company, nothing. So, I wonder what kind of deal was worked here. Maybe her contract is coming up soon, and they're just allowing her to finish her contract with Bellator so she can work full time for WWE. So it's a little weird. That's the whole reason why Paige Van Zant decided to sign with AEW, because WWE wanted to sign her to an exclusive contract. She's still technically under contract with Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, and she's also says she still wants to fight while doing pro wrestling. So that was why she went to AEW. So most likely, probably, her contract's probably coming up with Bellator, and if this is what she wants to do, she's gonna be exclusive to WWE.
yeah, and I think WWE's seen that she could have been someone on AEW's radar. You're starting to see both companies push for more MMA fighters to come in. But even Paige Van Zant's also a good example of somebody who like that match she had was horrible.
Yeah,
Horrible.
she definitely needs more time in the ring. She definitely has the look, man. She looks good, but yeah, she needs a lot more
Again, right?
seasoning
That's
in the
what I'm
ring.
saying. Like looks is one thing, but like if you can't perform, it's just like, oh come on, man. You know what I mean? Like give that ring time to someone else.
Right. But
Speaking of Bellator, Ricky, we had a fight between Musasli and Emlyn. We previewed this match. What was it, like a week or two ago?
yeah, it was this past Friday too.
It was this past Friday. Gerard Musasi losing to Johnny Emlyn,
Surprising.
which surprising because we both picked Musasi to come out and win.
Yeah.
Johnny Emlyn stays undefeated. What did you see here, Ricky?
Look, I'm not gonna take anything away from Johnny Eblen. He fought a great fight. He fought a great fight. He wrestled hard. He was the superior wrestler. He held him down. He even knocked him down in the first
Yeah.
round. I wonder but Musasi also looked bad. He didn't look himself. He looked tired. He did say before coming into this fight, he had to cut 24 pounds in a day to make this weight. So that is a very unhealthy weight cut. I wonder if that was a factor because he didn't look himself. He looked pretty bad in there. But as far as Johnny Eblen, he fought a great fight, man. He basically swept him this entire fight, all 5 rounds, and then and won the middleweight title and remains undefeated. So he's at the top where he said he was going to be, man. So this was pretty good performance by him.
Yeah, 100%. Very good performance by Johnny Emlyn. And you mentioned it. This was his test, and he passed with flying colors. He passed with flying colors. I mean, he's 12-0 now, and for good reason. Man's legit. He proved it. Musasi is nobody to sneeze at.
No,
and for Johnny Emlyn to defeat him decisively,
he's already reached legendary status in this game, as far as Gegard Mousasi, and it could be he is up there in age. He's about, I believe, 37 years old. That could be a factor. The tough weight cut. We'll see. Time will tell. We'll see in his next fight how he responds. But other than that, great win by Johnny Eblen. He's the champ.
Yep, definitely the champ. Let's move on to UFC Ricky and Fight Night that happened the day after this Saturday, and we had a good main event, man. As Mateus Gamrot defeats Arman Tsarukyan. How do you say it? Tsarukyan? You're better.
Tsarukyan.
Tsarukyan. Arman.
Tsarukyan. So the T is silent.
Yeah, he won by decision, but Ricky, this fight the entire time, like it was 5 rounds, but you couldn't even tell. These guys brought the pace and did not stop.
Yeah, these guys were, extremely evenly matched. You couldn't book a better fight better than this right here. These guys, these guys evenly matched. They went back and forth, they were laying it in, knocking each other down, and this was an exciting fight all around, all 5 rounds.
Yeah, all 5 rounds. But no, you hit it right on the head. We had I think before this fight, one was ranked 10th, the other one was ranked 11th, so they were literally right there.
Yeah, and then their skill sets were just matched up. Evenly matched, like I said.
Yeah.
So at the end, by the time the fight was over, it could have went either way. I couldn't pick a winner by the time this fight was over. I was like, you know what? One of these guys won, the other guy's gonna get screwed.
Yeah.
That was my feeling. So after the fight,
Tsarikian was the favorite to win this fight, like the odds-on favorite. Then once Gamrot started to like try to take him down, Tsarikian did pretty well in his takedown defense. But
Yep.
but then when he was taken down, he didn't last long on the mat either. The guy is
No,
legit on the ground.
he is, and it could have been those takedowns that probably sealed the deal for Gamrot. So
Yeah, I
it
think
could have been those two. But man, Tsarikian with those strikes, man, the spin, he landed a spinning back kick. He was landing,
yeah,
I mean, just a great all around fight, man. It was exciting to watch.
it really was. But
That's
yeah,
what I
no,
usually say about these lower ranked fighters, man. They're the most exciting ones because they're hungrier.
we're
They're
hungry. Yeah,
hungrier. They want to get into championship contendership. So they're gonna come out and they're gonna bring the fight, man. And it comes out for more entertaining fights for the fans. So that's what I'm saying. Don't sleep on these fights, man. They're a treat to watch.
they really are. UFC Ricky 276 is on its way. I'm excited for this card. We have two championship fights. Headlining is Israel Adesanya, 22-1, going against the number one contender Jared Cannonier, who's 15-5. We also have Alexander Volkanovski, 24-1, against Max Holloway, who's 23-6. This will be their third fight going against each other. Also in this fight, Sean Strickland, Alex Pereira. We have Robbie Lawler making a debut here with Brian Barberena. And then at the bantamweight, we have Pedro Munoz, Sean O'Malley.
Interesting card, man.
It's really, really interesting card.
Let me tell you the
Tate,
story.
Lauren Murphy got canceled.
Yeah.
Then we're
Yeah, so I believe one of the prelim fights is gonna get bumped up. So,
yeah.
Good. Congratulations to whoever's up there. But here's the story of this card, man. There are two interesting fights here, right?
Right.
Obviously, the main event, right?
Yeah.
And then there's the Sean Strickland and the Alex Pereira fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Now, I believe this was selective. This is one example, one of two examples on this card that it was a selective booking right here, or selective matchmaking right here. Because Sean Strickland, I believe, is number 4 in the rankings, middleweight, and he's been on a 6-fight winning streak. He's fighting Alex Pereira, who's not ranked, right? I believe he's had like 2 or 3 fights in the UFC. But here's a story with him, man. He has a history with Israel Adesanya. He knocked him out in their kickboxing fight.
He did. I seen that.
He knocked him. Yes. Yeah. When they were fighting in kickboxing. So you got it. It's really obvious right here. The UFC wants to pair those two in a fight in the main event later on, somewhere down the line between Alex Pereira and Israel Adesanya, because they're looking at this fight, against Cannonier. More than likely, Israel Adesanya is winning this fight. After that, he's basically wiping this division clean. He's running out of contenders.
Right.
They're putting him in there against Sean Strickland, who's more than likely is going to stand up and fight Pereira. But he's also pretty good at wrestling, so he might just try to take Pereira down. But they're looking at this, seeing that Pereira's most likely going to win this fight, and to pair him up with Israel Adesanya somewhere down the line to give him a real test, because this is the guy that knocked him out.
It could be right after. I mean, if Sean Strickland is number 4, if you're not ranked, but yet you beat a number 4 ranked guy, you deserve to be in that spot.
Yeah. He's immediately getting hot shotted right up to the car, right, fighting the number 4 ranked guy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, especially if he knocks him out or he beats him convincingly, he's definitely getting the next shot. So who knows? I mean, I could see Israel Adesanya sweating bullets, man. Seeing this guy coming for him once again.
Alex Pereira, 34 years old. Sean Strickland, 31. So Pereira's actually the older man here.
Yeah.
And he has a 3 reach advantage over Sean Strickland. Who do you see winning this fight?
I see Pereira winning this fight. I think, and I see it by knockout. I believe he's gonna knock him out. Maybe 3rd round, possibly. It's all the 3rd, possibly the 3rd round, because I believe it's going to only just 3 rounds.
Not the same Adesanya though that he's fought back in kickboxing though.
No, not the same. But the one thing we know about Israel Adesanya, his strong or the wrestling is not his strong suit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's not known for his ground game. So
we saw Jan Blachowicz expose that.
Yeah. And even though he evolved it a little bit, I mean, if those two end up fighting, it's just going to be a stand-up battle, and he's going to give Adesanya a really true test.
Really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then as far as the co-main event, a third fight between Max Holloway and Volkanovski, man, excited. That might be fight of the night for me.
Third fight, Ricky. Was it the last fight where it could have went either way?
Yeah, it could have went either way. Some believe that it was Max Holloway. I believe it was Max Holloway that won the second fight, but Volkanovski's, he's evolved a lot more since that fight. He's gotten a
Yeah.
lot better. So I mean, yeah, this is. I want to say that Max Holloway could win this fight, and he could, and it's probably going to go all 5 rounds. I predict it's going to go all 5 rounds, but Volkanovski I think is going to get the edge again.
No, I think Volkanovski wins this fight. I think he's just too on a hot streak. But the thing is, I am surprised the quick turnaround. Although I know he killed the Korean Zombie, and he didn't get hit at all. So I know he's fresh still. It's just, I mean, the fact that he took it this quickly is what surprises me a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, because I guess he didn't suffer too much damage, and in that fight with the Zombie, and this was the original fight that was supposed to happen. So he was like,
Yeah.
what, let's get to it. Let's get, he fighters fight, and a champion, especially the champion, he wants to defend his title, and he wants to get in there with the guy that everybody kept saying beat him in the second fight. So I'm not surprised.
Yeah, no, you're right, 100%. Fighters fight and champions defend their championship, and that's exactly what Volkanovski is. Who do you see winning? You said you see Max Holloway winning this fight.
Man, I want to say Max. I want to say it, man, because everybody's saying Volkanovski's gonna, and hey, I don't disagree. Volkanovski's gonna win this fight. I know it's gonna go 5 rounds.
Okay,
sure. It's gonna be another 5 round war, and it's probably gonna be close. It's probably gonna be close, just like the first two fights. So, you know what? Since you're going Volkanovski, I'm going Holloway.
all right, I'm going Volkanovski. I think Volkanovski. I think that he has the momentum. As you said, I think he's on another level, and he finally ends this feud between Max Holloway.
Yeah. Max Holloway has a lot of mileage in that body, man. He's been through a lot of wars. He's been fighting for a long time, so that could, you could say he's not the same fighter, but at the same time, he hasn't really declined all that much. He's been in fight of the year candidates for a long, still even for a long time now. So
yeah,
I'm not gonna count out Max Holloway.
100%. Before we get into the main event, Ricky, Robbie Lawler faces Brian Barberena. Who do you see win this one and why?
I see this going the distance as well, because Barberena is more than he's gonna go in there with Robbie Lawler, and he's gonna fight his fight. They're gonna fight. Yeah. They're gonna fight the same exact way. They're just gonna come. They're gonna plod forward, and they're gonna bite. They're gonna bite down on their mouthpiece, and they're gonna start swinging.
Right.
So and that's exactly what Robbie Lawler wants. That's how he's always fought. He loves these dog fights, and he's 40 years old, but I still think he wins. I still think even though Barberena's the younger fighter, I still think Robbie Lawler has more power in his punches, and I think he will probably land the more significant ones. I'm not saying he's gonna knock him out. I think it'll still go to the distance, but I got Robbie Lawler.
Robbie Lawler is 40. Barberena is 33. Robert with the 1.5 reach advantage.
Yeah.
Or 2.5. Sorry, 2.5 reach advantage. But no, I agree with you 100%. I think Robbie Lawler comes out the victor here.
He's not the same guy. Yeah, he's not the same guy. He beat Nick Diaz. Nick Diaz didn't look all that good in that fight.
Not at all.
But I still think he wins.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you, Ricky. Lawler 29-15, Barberena 17-8. Bantamweight matchup between Pedro Munoz, Sean O'Malley. Is this just another guy UFC is feeding Sean O'Malley, or is Pedro Munoz actually somebody who could compete here?
This is the second example that I was saying about selective matchmaking here.
Yeah.
Pedro Munoz, look, I'm not gonna take nothing away. He has some pretty good leg kicks, hard leg kicks, and he's never been knocked out. All right. So if he has any chance against Sean O'Malley in this fight, he's got to go after his legs with those leg kicks and try to slow him down, because Sean O'Malley is going to move around him. He is the quicker guy. He is the more accurate striker. All right.
Right.
And much faster as far as like hand speed and everything. Speed kills. Pedro Munoz is not known for his speed, so as far as I see who wins this fight, yeah, they're trying to preserve Sean O'Malley. They see something in him. They're trying to preserve him, trying to put him up more in the rankings, and possibly make him a main eventer in this division. So I see him winning this fight by decision. He's probably gonna
When, when,
he's probably gonna piece him up pretty good.
when are they going to actually give him legit competition though? See what he's really made of, because you could, as you said, preserve this guy for so long, but then once you finally put him in real competition, because eventually he has to if he wants to be a champion. If he gets pieced up, then it's like all that for what?
Exactly. I mean, eventually, I think all roads are going to lead back to a rematch with Chito Vera, because Vera he's been doing really good in this division as well. He's moved up ever since he beat him, and in his last fight with Rob Font, he just brutalized the dude. I mean, just messed up his face, bloodied him up. I mean, he's on the up and up. I think eventually, I mean, it's unavoidable because that's his only loss on his record against Martin Chito Vera. So eventually, those guys will end up meeting again, and I think I think he'll be the one that really give him a real tough time.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the fight against him, against Vera and Rob Font was piecing him up, but no, he showed no damage. He wasn't rocked. He was there. He was in the pocket, and he was the one that messed up Rob Font's face like bad.
Yeah.
And won that fight. Knocked him. I mean, almost finished him many times throughout that fight.
Yeah.
So, very very bloody fight. So yeah, I mean they can only do this for so long, but they're taking their time, and I understand it. They're trying to create another star here. So
they're trying to create another Conor McGregor. Let's be honest.
Well, he ain't no Conor McGregor as far as like talking and promoting and all that shit.
I'm pretty sure he can be. I mean, he's very out there. The guy, you know what I mean? Like he's out there. You know, I could see it. You know what I mean? I could totally see it. All right, main event time. Middleweight championship. The undisputed champion Israel Adesanya, 22-1, faces Jared Cannonier, who's 15-5. All right, Ricky, what do we have? Is it really that easy? Is it that simple to pick Adesanya?
I think so, man. This fight, I mean, look, Jared Cannonier, he obviously he's a fresh opponent for Israel Adesanya because Adesanya's been doing the rounds in this division, and the thing about it is that, man, I don't believe he matches up as far as speed, quickness, Adesanya, and as far as the striking. His only chance, I believe, would be is if he tries to clinch Adesanya against the cage, try to land those vicious elbows that he's known for. Might do a little wrestling and possibly try to hold him down. That I believe would be his only chance of winning. But if he can't do that, I mean, it's gonna be a long night for him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, Adesanya. I mean, another thing too, man. He hasn't. Adesanya hasn't really shown any, like, I guess, desire to end his fights. His fights have not been as exciting lately. He hasn't go for the finish as much, I guess, because I don't know if he feels he feels superior and he's just gonna cruise to a decision or whatever. So that's why I'm saying, like, in the fight between Strickland and Pereira, it's done by design. They really want to put this guy against Adesanya in the future. Because this is a guy that's not going to wrestle him. This is a guy that's not going to try to clinch him. He's going to come and try to knock his head off, like, for the second time. So that's why this card is happening. These fights on here. So yeah, I got Adesanya winning. It's going to go to decision.
Yeah, really? You think so?
Yeah.
Well, I guess you're right, because you just mentioned it. He doesn't finish his opponents anymore, which is kind of weird and odd to me.
Yeah. He hasn't shown any desire to try to end it quickly. He just like, you know what, I'm just gonna take my time. I could just piece this dude up a little bit and then just cruise to a decision. That's what he's been showing. I think in his past 2 or 3 fights. The last guy he knocked out was Paulo Costa.
Yeah.
And ever since then he signed a new contract to UFC, and it was like, and he's getting paid, and like, okay, I'll take it easy until they put somebody until they put a real challenge in front of me. I guess that's his mindset. I don't know.
Well, Pereira, who knocked him out before, can be that guy for sure. And if you're Adesanya, you want to make up for it. You know what I mean? You want to get your revenge, no doubt about it.
Yeah. So I got Adesanya 5 rounds decision.
5-round decision.
What do you got? What do you got?
100%. I was gonna say I'd assign you in the 3rd round. I think if there's gonna be a fight, he's gonna knock someone out. It'll probably be this one. Because you're right. Adesanya has had some boring fights as of late, and I think he knows that. So I think this one he comes out of nowhere and puts on a performance.
Let's see.
But we'll see, man. We'll definitely see.
He's definitely capable of it. It's just a matter of, is he going to? Is he gonna decide to want to end it early, or is he just gonna take a walk?
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, I guess it really depends on what he wants to do.
100%. UFC 276, July 2nd on my birthday. Excited to see it. We'll be together, Ricky. Hopefully we get to see it there. But should be fun. Should be fun nonetheless.
Yes, sir.
Any fights in the UFC that you're excited to see in the future, or that you want to see?
There is there was one fight I was thinking earlier that I want to see that they just booked, and I believe it was Yair Rodriguez and Brian Ortega. There we go. I'm excited to see that fight.
Why?
Man, I don't have to explain why. These two guys.
You really don't have to explain why.
These two guys, man. I mean, just if you like the Brian Ortega and the Volkanovski fight, this is gonna be another one. Brian Ortega brings it. Yair Rodriguez brings it. I mean, these two guys were in 2 of the fight of the years last year when Rodriguez fought Max Holloway, when Ortega fought Volkanovski. We saw that fight. That fight was just fucking insane.
It was insane.
So putting those two guys together, I believe is going to be a banger and possibly a fight of the year candidate for me.
Yeah, 100%. Next week, Ricky, we would have another show here at Sports Drip Live. We'll be on Wednesday, July 6th, I believe, right? July 6th, yes, next Wednesday. We'll definitely review UFC 276, let you guys know what we saw and the results in that. We'll talk more AEW, WWE. We'll get into some boxing as well. And then we have some segments that we're gonna debut next week. Ricky going into the rankings. It's the heavyweight division we go into next week, right?
That's right.
So we're getting into the heavyweight division next week. We have our Be Creative segment that's debuting next week. For those who don't know, that's going to be when Ricky and I put our creative hats. We're going to go ahead and pick a WWE and an AEW star that we would like to put together.
Yeah, like fantasy booking.
Yeah, fantasy booking. Exactly what that is. Fantasy booking there. And then we'll have State of the Divisions. And then we'll go into our boxing fighter spotlight as well. So tons of new segments, and of course, if there's any submission of the week. So next week should be a fun episode, 100% fun episode. So we'll get into it.
I don't see any obvious submissions in the main card for this UFC card this week. I see mostly knockouts and submission, but it could happen. It could definitely happen. But
I think if there's going to be one, it's probably going to be the Volkanovski Holloway fight. I can see Volkanovski rear naked choke on Max Holloway.
Ooh, nah, I don't see that one.
You know what? I'm going to place a bet, Ricky. I'm going to place a bet.
Man, all right, you're going to lose. You're going to lose that bet. I don't see it in that fight. I don't see it in that fight. I really don't. If I see it in any one of these fights right here.
Hold on, let me see, man.
I definitely don't see it. not with O'Malley and Munoz. I don't see that. I don't see it with Lawler or Barberena. Definitely not Strickland and Pereira, unless Strickland decides to wrestle. Unless Strickland decides. I mean, okay. If any on this card, it would be that one. If Sean Strickland decides to wrestle and Pereira cannot defend, I could see Strickland submitting him. That's the only fight on this card that I could possibly see it. Even though that's the less likely outcome of this fight.
I'm trying to see what the odds are. Method of victory, Volkanovski by submission plus 1,500. So you bet 100. Yeah, so you bet 100 to win 1,500. Volkanovski by submission. So if I were to bet $20, that's a $300 come up.
Well,
$5 to give me $75. I think I might do it.
You might. Volkanovski submitting Holloway. I don't see it.
I can see it.
I see him knocking him out more than. Well, I don't know. I don't know about that. Holloway's very durable. I don't think he can get knocked out that easily at all.
What I can see is I can see him stunning him, maybe drop in, but then he regains himself. But by then, Volkanovski has his back, turns him over for a rear naked choke, and gets Holloway to submit. I can see that happening.
Got to hit him pretty good. He's gonna have to hit him pretty good to stun him for that one. Go ahead, man. If you're a betting man, go ahead. It's not a bet I would put though, but still.
Right. Any chance you bet on Jared Cannonier to win?
No.
I don't. 350, man. If Jared Cannonier wins by submission, plus 2,500. Jesus.
Ooh, that's a good come up. But very unlikely to happen, man. Jared. It's more likely if he's able to clinch Adesanya against the cage and knock him out with an elbow like he did in his last fight. It's possible. He has some vicious elbows, but he's gonna have to catch Adesanya. And
upset of the week, Ricky. Huh? Upset of the week. Let's get another segment here. What's upset of the week? Out of all these fights that you see, which one could be an upset here?
I could see upset of the week. I would see it. I guess, man, it's hard. Max Holloway winning wouldn't be the biggest upset, but I think he has a more chance of winning than anybody that
it's an upset. I think it's an upset.
Yeah. Well,
I think it's an upset.
Yeah, most people see it as an upset. I don't see it as that big of an upset, but yeah. So that's the only one I can see. Him and even Sean Strickland, because I believe Pereira is the favorite to win that fight.
Okay. Not bad. All right. So we have both champions retaining their titles. We have Alex Pereira defeating Sean Strickland, Robbie Lawler winning, and Sean O'Malley. Nice. UFC 276, guys. Saturday, July 2nd. This has been Sports Drip Live. 50 minutes in the books. And we will have way more for you guys next week as we will review UFC 276. As I mentioned, we'll get into a whole bunch of segments, fun segments for wrestling and MMA, and of course boxing as well. Rick, anything you want to say before we head out of here?
Thank you, everybody that tuned in. Thanks for supporting us, continually supporting us, and we'll see you guys next week. Enjoy the fights this weekend, and peace out, man. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Zay. Thank you, everybody, for watching who's been on this live. Make sure to follow us, guys, on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. You can find all our past episodes on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitch, and on Twitter. And we'll be back next week for sure. For Enrique Contreras, my name's Jose Contreras, guys. I'm gonna play the intro one more time for you guys, for those who haven't seen it yet, and that is gonna lead us out. Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you, guys.
Hold on. Technical difficulties. Let's break.